Welcome to Jamie's Vinyl Hideaway Deep Purple Edition. Deep Purple, Mach 1 versus Mach 2. What do you think? A lot of people say Mach 2. I'm going to give you a little Mach 1 right now. From their third album, self-titled Deep Purple, 1969. This is Fault Line. Now, Deep Purple came out with their first album in 1968 called Shades of Deep Purple. They had a big hit, top 10 hit with the song Hush. They were had a lot of success, well, moderate success in the United States, not so much in England. But anyway, what made Deep Purple different than all the other heavy bands in 1968 is they had some organ, Hammond organ. Not Farfista, like had been popular through the 60s, but the Hammond B3 with a Leslie amplifier. It's something that Vincent Crane was doing with The Crazy World of Arthur Brown. I'm sure Keith Emerson was doing it with The Nice at the time. And then we had John Lord doing it with Deep Purple in a hard rock format. The Deep Purple consisted of, at this time, Rod Evans on vocals, Nick Simper on bass, Richie Blackmore on lead guitar, Ian Pace on drums, and John Lord on keyboards. And this song is simple. This is Painter. Their first three albums came out on Tetragrammaton Records, an independent record in the United States. I believe they were on Vertigo in England. But again, their albums in the United States were selling better than in their home country of the United Kingdom. The original Tetragrammaton has a little blue label on the label here. You'll see the one I'm taking off the platter in a minute is all gray, and it's a reissue. Their second album, Book of Taliesin, had some covers just like the first album did. Kentucky Woman was a top 40 hit. There goes John. Now, Deep Purple to me were a pretty important band when I was a kid. I was like 10 years old when Hush came out. See this label, all gray. And, I wanted something a little heavier, even as a 10-year-old. I knew there was something more out there. And Deep Purple gave me that. And I had an album called Purple Passages, which was a double album that Warner Brothers reissued in the mid-70s when Deep Purple became really big. And it had songs from the first 3 Deep Purple albums on it. And this song here, Chasing Shadows, was one of them, which really showcases Ian Pace on the drums, who is still with Deep Purple, the only original member. Hieronymus Bosch did this artwork somewhere in the 16th century. It's kind of like a version of a depiction of hell. Pearls Before Swine used this same exact picture on one of their albums that came out a year or two before this one. Really cool bass line by Nick Simper on that song. What do we have here? Oh, sorry. Stump the Jamie.
Number one.
Stump the Jamie, question number 1. Listen to that Richie Black song. Oh. What year did Deep Purple, record Perfect Strangers? I guess what year did the album Perfect Strangers come out? Perfect Strangers was when the Mach 2 lineup of Deep Purple got back together. And I don't know, I'm going with 1983. Ooh, close. If you know the right answer, I was wrong. Close though, come on.
Close.
If you know the right answer, make a comment on my YouTube page. Make a comment and tell me the right answer, because heck, I've been stumped before. So anyway, Deep Purple and their management decided they wanted to be a little heavier. I thought this was pretty heavy, but there was some heavier things coming down the line. So they dismissed Rod Evans from the group and Nick Simper. Rod Evans later formed Captain Beyond, put out a couple albums, and this first album of theirs with a really cool 3D album cover. Nick Simper went on to form Warhorse. And I got a problem here with Nick Simper being left out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They inducted Deep Purple into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame a couple of years back. And they included Rod Evans, as they should have, from the original lineup. and they included Mach 2, but they didn't include Nick Simper for some strange reason. He was on all the same records as the other guys on the first 3 albums, so why he wasn't included, I don't know. But anyway, they replaced Nick Simper with Roger Glover, and they replaced Rod Evans with Ian Gillan. Roger Glover and Ian Gillan were in the band Episode 6 at the time. And Ian Gillan is, I could see what they were looking for here. Because Ian Gillan has the kind of voice that kind of set the mold, I think, for what was to come later. Although he was a screamer, he didn't scream all his stuff, but he could do it. And that's kind of like where heavy metal went, several years later. But let's hear a little bit of Speed King. Oh, by the way, this is from Deep Purple in Rock. But before they put out Deep Purple in Rock, they put this album out, Deep Purple, the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra, was a concerto that John Lord wrote, which was kind of like a rock band with an orchestra, classical music kind of mixed with rock, which is really not what Ritchie Blackmore wanted to be doing. He wanted to get louder, and so they hit it out with Deep Purple in Rock. And of course, you can see as their faces are carved in stone in some mountain in the mid-western England somewhere. But here we go with Speed King. It's a tribute to the oldies. Nice little church music in between here. You ready? After Deep Purple in Rock, they put out Fireball, which is another good album. And then, of course, after Fireball, they put out the album that would change their lives, Machine Head. Of course, Machine Head would have Smoke on the Water on it, and after that album, they put out a live album, Made in Japan, which had a live version of Smoke on the Water, and they issued that as a single, and that became a top 10 single. It had the live cut on one side and the studio version on the other side. Stump the Jamie, number 3. Don't know what happened to number 2, but hey, we'll go for number 3. What is the name of Deep Purple's current tour? This is significant because it's their last tour. And I didn't write down the name of their last tour, so I guess I've been stumped again. It has something to do with it's our last tour. Goodbye. They're saying goodbye. You need to go see Deep Purple. I need to go see Deep Purple.
Yes.
I only saw Deep Purple one time, and it was only a few years back. They're currently touring Ian Pace drums, Ian Gillan singing, Roger Glover on bass guitar, Don Airey I think is the keyboard player. John Lord died several years ago, and Steve Morse used to be in Dixie Dregs, is the lead guitar player. Richie Blackmore is he's had a band. I just like the way this thing ends. I gotta hit it. Yes. Anyway, yeah. So Richie Blackmore's got a band called Blackmore's Night. They kind of do like a medieval mix of folk, British folk, and medieval music, and it's a pretty good band. They've been around for quite a while. Child in Time is on this album. This, by the way, is a German record, I believe. And it's distributed by Harvest, but it's Sounds Superb is the name of the label. I guess in Germany, that's what Harvest was issuing their music under. I'll show you what the Warner Brothers album would have looked like on the American release while this next song is playing. Hard Lovin' Man. All right, let's get a little bit of that. John Lord's going to literally pull out the stops on this particular song. After Made in Japan, the Mach 2 lineup put out Who Do We Think We Are, which would be their last album before Gillan and Glover left the group and were replaced by Coverdale and Muse for the Mach 3 lineup. But that is on a later show. Maybe that won't be on a show. I don't know. It wasn't my favorite lineup. So basically in '74, Deep Purple Mach 2 ceased to exist until they would reform 10 years later. them play, John Lord is like, doing his thing with his right hand and not necessarily playing the rhythm with his left. He's pulling out the stops and putting them back in and, just like having a good old time with that Hammond B3. I don't want to take anything away from Ritchie Blackmore. Not too many guitarists sounded like that. Very distinct. Lots of whammy bar. Anyway, that's all I got. Deep Purple. Mach 1 versus Mach 2. What do you think? I like them both. Yeah, Mach 2 is a little louder. Ian Gillan is a damn good singer. Rod Evans retired from the music business not long after a couple albums with his band Captain Beyond. I'm not sure what Nick Simper is doing, but I hope he's doing well. The rest of the guys still on tour. We need to go see them. But anyway, if you like this kind of sort of thing, records, vinyl, hearing about some classic rock and maybe some not so classic rock, check out my YouTube page. I got several shows. Share it with your friends. I really would love for you to share it with your friends. Send it to your mother. Your mother would be like, wow, I remember this. It's like, and if you're older, send it to your kids. They might learn something, You'd be surprised that young people they're wanting some good rock and roll. And here we got it right here. Deep Purple, good rock and roll. What more can I say? This album, though, over all the other Mach 2 albums, this one just somehow seems to be the loudest. But anyway, this is Jamie's Vinyl Hideaway. I'm Jamie. Please share this with your friend. Make some comments. If you have the answers to the questions that I was completely stumped with, make a comment and I will share it with the world. Oh yeah, that reminds me. The last show, the Good Rats show. I had some good answers. Did I answer the Good Rats show question?
No.
Oh man, somebody had answered my Good Rats question about what was the original name of the Good Rats. And it was and he answered it. Thank you, I forgot the guy's name. But it had the U-Men. That's what it was, the U-Men. I was like, the U-Men? Kind of like underwater men. But anyway, the Good Rats, the Long Island band that I mentioned that I did the last show on, they were called the U-Men, and I was stumped. And thank you for answering that question. Thank you for everyone who commented and answered any questions.
We'll send you a T-shirt when we have T-shirts.
Right, when we have T-shirts, I'm gonna wear one. And if I get two,
and I'll send you one.
I'll share them with someone, right? Anyway, I'm Jamie. Jamie's Vinyl Hideaway. Rock and roll lives. Vinyl is forever. Please subscribe. Oh yeah. Later, man. Move it. Stop it. Stop.